what you gonna do when MMA Carrot and 1,000,000 tons of vitamin A run wild on you? That's right, I'm a carrot. I have arms. Don't question it, brother. Just accept it. Because every week, I'm coming at you with the wildest knockouts, the worst judges' decisions, and hot takes hotter than a steel chair to the dome. So smell what the carrot's cooking. Hit that subscribe button. Slam that bell. Because MMA Carrot doesn't do cardio. MMA Carrot does crunch. And crunch is forever. Let's start the show, brother. Diego Lopes. This man comes forward like a freight train with no brakes. Boxing, ground and pound, scrambles. It doesn't matter where the fight goes. Lopes is gonna make it ugly for you. He's got that killer instinct, brother. The kind that ends careers. And you gotta respect this. Lopes takes shots to land his shots. He gets reckless chasing the finish. And sometimes, brother, that comes back to bite him. Now you want to talk about war? This man just went 25 minutes with Alexander Volkanovski. Twice. Lost both, sure. But he was still standing at the final bell, walking away with fight of the night money. And before that, he hit Gene Silva with a spinning elbow and put him to sleep. But don't sleep on Steve Garcia, brother. This man is on a 7-fight win streak, the second longest in the whole featherweight division. He just put David Onama away in round 1. He is hungry, he is climbing, and he thinks he's the one walking out of D.C. with a statement win. So here's the deal, brother. These two are closer than the odds say. Both heavy hands, both finishers. But Garcia has never been hit by anybody, like Lopes has been hit by Volkanovski. And Lopes is still here. That durability. That's the difference. It's going to be close. But Diego Lopes gets out of there with the W. And how does it end, brother? TKO. Lopes pressures. Lopes grinds. And that titanium chin lets him walk through whatever Garcia throws back until Garcia breaks. Brother, let's talk about Bo Nickal. This man was the greatest wrestler on the planet before he ever threw a punch in this sport. Multiple-time NCA, a champion. When this man gets a hold of you, brother, there is nowhere to go. And we gotta say it, back in May 2025, Renier de Ridder caught Nickal standing up and put him to sleep in round 2. That's a crack in the armor, brother. But what did Nickal do? He came right back in November and landed a head kick that folded Rodolfo Vieira like a lawn chair. Performance of the night, brother. Now Kyle Dalkas, don't get it twisted. This man can fight. 17 wins, and he's been finishing people lately. Knocked out Michel Pereira in under a minute, then locked up a Bravo choke on Gerald Meerschaert. He is rolling right now. But here's the problem for Dalkas, brother. He has never in his life dealt with wrestling like this. Nickal's takedowns are on another planet. Dalkas can punch, Dalkas can submit, but if Nickal puts him on his back, it is going to be a long night. That de Ridder loss was a striking problem, not a wrestling problem. And Dalkas ain't winning a wrestling match with Bo Nickal. Bo Nickal gets the W, brother. But don't expect fireworks here. This one goes to a decision. Both of these men are wrestlers at heart, brother. And Nickal's striking still isn't sharp enough to finish. But 5 rounds, or 3 rounds, of control time wins it on the scorecards. Easy. Oh, brother, this one's almost unfair. Mauricio Ruffy, 12 knockouts and 13 wins. This man hits like he's got bricks for hands, and he is fast, brother. Fast! In March 2025, he knocked out King Green in the first round. And just this past February, he put away Rafael Fiziev with a TKO. Now sure, brother, he hit a speed bump in September. Benoit Saint-Denis caught him with a face crank and got the tap. But that's a submission problem, not a this guy can't fight problem. And he answered it right away with that Fiziev finish. And then there's Michael Chandler. Brother, I respect this man's career. 23 wins, an absolute warrior. But Father Time is undefeated. He got finished by Paddy Pimblett in round 3 last April. TKO. Before that, he lost a decision to Charles Oliveira. That's back-to-back losses against the new wave, brother. So here's the math. Ruffy is young. Ruffy is hungry. Ruffy is in his prime. Chandler is fading, and fading fast. This is a changing of the guard fight, and Mauricio Ruffy is the future. Ruffy gets the W, probably with another highlight reel finish. And brother, I don't see this going anywhere, but Knockout City. Ruffy just needs to land one clean shot, one. And at 38 years old, on the tail end of his career, Chandler is not walking through that. Go, brother, plain and simple. Brother, you want to talk about a meteor? Josh Hokit came into the UFC and went 3 for 3. TKO over Max Gimenez. TKO over Denzel Freeman. That man retired on his stool, brother. And then Hokit goes 5 rounds with Curtis Blades in April and sets a UFC record for combined significant strikes. 351 strikes thrown. Brother, fight of the year contender. And now he's number 5 in the world after just 3 fights. But brother, you do not ever sleep on Derek Lewis, the Black Beast. Most knockouts in UFC history. 16, brother. He just TKO'd Taliesin Teixeira in 35 seconds last July. Anybody, and I mean anybody, who steps in there with this man is one punch away from seeing the lights go out. But here's the thing. In January, Waldo Cortes Acosta TKO'd Lewis in round 2. The chin and the gas tank are not what they used to be, brother. This man is 41 years old. So here's the deal. Hokit just proved he can go 5 rounds with a top heavyweight and outwork him. If Hokit survives that first big shot from Lewis, and that's a big if, his cardio and his all-around game should take over late. Hokit gets the W, brother, but respect the knockout power on the other side. And here's how it happens, brother. Lewis comes out swinging for the fences with those overhands. Hokit weathers it because he's the faster, more durable man. And then Lewis gases out. Once that happens, it's a technical finish, brother. TKO! Yeah! Whoa! Whether it's strikes piling up standing or Hokit taking him down and the ref steps in on the ground and pound, either way, the result's the same. Brother, Sean O'Malley, Sugar Show! When this man's striking is clicking, it does not matter who's across the cage. The reach, the footwork, the power in that left hand. Brother, it is art. He bounced back in January with a clean decision over Song Yadong. But let's be real, brother. Merab Dvalishvili exposed something back in June 2025. Got O'Malley to the ground and locked up a north-south choke to take that title. If you can get this man off his feet, brother, there are problems. Now Ayman Zahabi, the Iceman. This man is quietly putting together a run. He outboxed Jose Aldo, brother, Aldo. Then he went out and beat Marlon Vera by decision. Crisp, technical, durable, number 6 in the world, and climbing. But here's the question, brother. Does Zahabi have the wrestling to do what Dvalishvili did? No, he does not. This is a boxing match. And in a boxing match, Sean O'Malley's reach and power are simply on another level. As long as this stays standing, and it will, O'Malley picks his shots and gets the W. Brother! But don't bank on the finish, brother. Zahabi has shown he's got a good chin, and getting him out in 3 rounds is a tall order. This one's going to the judges. Decision for the Sugar Show. And now, brother, the fight everybody's talking about. Alex Poatan. Pereira is moving up to heavyweight to chase a 3rd UFC title in a 3rd weight class. Brother, this man is a multiple-time kickboxing world champion. When that right hand lands, brother, it is over. He just reclaimed the light heavyweight title in October, knocking out Magomed Ankalaev in round 1. The same man who beat him back in March. Revenge, brother, sweet revenge. But Cyril gone. Bon gamin. Brother, this is the number 1 heavyweight in the world. The footwork, the boxing. For a heavyweight, this man moves like he's 185 pounds. His last fight in October was a no contest against Tom Aspinall. accidental eye poke, so he hasn't even gotten a clean finish to his story yet, and he is hungry to prove he belongs at the top. Here's why the odds are basically a coin flip, brother. Pereira's power doesn't care what weight class you're in. He has ended fights against everybody, but he's never faced someone with Gon's size and reach advantage before. That's uncharted territory, and Gon has shown he can be hurt by power before, too. So I'll say this, brother. It's close. It's the riskiest pick on the card. But if Pereira's hands land clean, even one time, brother, this fight is over. Slight nod to Powhatan, but do not be shocked either way. And here's the thing, brother. I actually think this one goes late. Pereira's never fought at heavyweight. Gon's been a top contender there for years. That's experience you can't fake. So either Pereira finds a TKO in the later rounds once Gon starts to fade, or this thing goes the full distance and it's a decision. Either way, brother, get comfortable. This is the long fight on the card. And for the main event, brother, 17-0. Ilia Topuria has never lost a fight. Not as an amateur, not as a pro, never. He vacated the featherweight title, gave it up, brother, to come to lightweight and prove he's the best in the world. And what did he do in his first fight at 155? He knocked out Charles Oliveira in round 1 to become a 2-division champion. Before that, he put Max Holloway to sleep. And nobody finishes Max Holloway. Brother, nobody. But Justin Gaethje, the highlight. This man's nickname says it all. 27 wins, and he is in every single fight. He just won the interim title in January with a unanimous decision over Paddy Pimblett. Fight of the night money. Brother, as always, leg kicks that'll make you feel it for a week. Forward pressure that never stops. But here's the truth, brother. Gaethje has been finished before by Poirier, by Oliveira. When elite counter-strikers time him coming forward, it gets ugly for Gaethje. And Topuria is the best counter-striker on the planet right now. Topuria is undefeated. He is the champion, and he is defending his house. Gaethje brings the fireworks, brother. He always does. But Topuria's composure and that power on the counter should be too much. Topuria gets the W, retains the title, and the parlay is complete, brother. And I'll say it with no hesitation. Knockout, brother. It is not a question of if. It's a question of when. And my money says early, round 1. Topuria walks Gaethje down, finds the counter, and the title fight is over before it even gets started. MMA Carrot's parlay is complete. 7 picks, brother. $20 turns into $174.31 if it all hits. That's the kind of return that makes even a vegetable feel rich. Brother, you just witnessed 7 locks, handpicked by the sharpest root vegetable in all of sports analysis. Lopes, Nickal, Ruffy, Hokit, O'Malley, Pereira, Topuria. 7 names, brother, 7. And every single one is hitting. I'm not just confident, brother. I am planted in this parlay. I am rooted in these picks. You can take these to the bank. You can take them to the vegetable stand. Doesn't matter. They are locked. They are loaded, and they are correct. So remember this, brother. Remember it well. There's no fighter with more heart, no analyst with more nerve, and no vegetable with more MMA merit than the MMA Carrot. I'm MMA Carrot. Cardio's overrated. Crunch is forever. Peace out, brother.